the most controversial topic in pickleball? Is it serves? Is it dropping partners? Is it whether to tap paddles or not after the first game? All of those things are controversial, but the number one controversial topic in pickleball is mixed doubles and how much each player should take on the court. So today we're going to break down a professional mixed match that I played with Catherine Parenteau and kind of look at how much the guy is supposed to take and whether it's okay, what she thinks about it, what I think about it, and what should happen in mixed doubles, because there are not a lot of sports where a man plays with a woman. This topic isn't really an issue in almost every sport. So I mean, this is a very unique problem to pickleball. I think it adds an awesome element to the game. I'm currently ranked number 6 in the world in mixed doubles. So there's only a few people out there that have a little bit better understanding of what it takes to be the best in mixed doubles in pickleball. You'll see today how much the guy should take without overstepping. And sometimes we do overstep. Let's go. The first point of this match is a solid example of the controversial issue that we're talking about. And it starts with their return, which comes to the middle, and I take the middle ball. And you can see I'm well over on Catherine's side. I don't hit the best third, and we're both moving in, which isn't always a great thing. And look what happens. And they hit a winner right through the middle. But it was a perfect spot where, since I'm so far over, we don't know who's supposed to take that. And that's a perfect example of why this is such a controversial issue, because it can cause a lot of problems. Like, as you can just see, it's the first point of the match, and neither one of us go for the ball. What's also interesting is you can see Dylan Frazier, where he is, which is our opponent here, Dylan, he is also in the middle of the court. He's actually more in the middle of the court. If we go back, we'll see Dylan take this fourth. And you'll see this a lot. This is one of the most occurring things in pro mixed doubles. It is that the male takes the fourth ball, and the fourth ball is 4 balls after the serve, or including the serve. So serve, return, then there's the third, which is a very important shot, and then almost just as important is the fourth. Boom, winner down the middle. So here's another point where I'm pretty aggressive. This shot is called a Burt, where I jump across the kitchen on my partner's side. And I mean, the ball was so high that I was able to do that. Tyra misses my shot, and we win the point. This isn't always the smartest shot, but at the start of a mixed doubles match, what it is my job to do is to apply pressure, to be big, to scare the opponents. I want them to know, hey, if you don't hit a good drop, you're gonna pay the price. And that's what I try and do in mixed doubles. So here's an example of me doing it and it not paying off. I mean, Catherine missed a dink, but that's not her fault because, she's used to playing the right in mixed doubles. So I take this first dink, and the reason I take this first dink is because my forehand in the middle, even when it bounces right here, I'm able to do more with this dink than Catherine is because it's my forehand. I could take this dink, I could roll it there, I could go here, I could speed up across Dylan's body, I could speed up down the line. I probably won't speed up to Tyra, because if I speed up to the across court to the girl, the woman, they can just counter it behind me. Whereas if I go at Dylan, he is not going to be able to go behind me. He just won't. Like, at best, with the angle, if I go across his body, he'll hit it right here. And since I'm not that far over, if I go here and he comes here, I'm ready. And we end up losing this point, but that's all good. So this point is a perfect example of my reach. I take the middle. And this happens a lot right here in mixed doubles. It's the two girls dinking cross court, and that's what you want to happen in mixed doubles. If you're the guy, you want to be comfortable with your partner dinking cross court with the girl, and that's like a pattern that happens a lot. Is the two girls are dinking cross, and you try to apply pressure and get big, exactly as I just did. So right here, they're dinking cross. I wait until I see one that I think I could take, and that ball wasn't that high. You'll see it was not too high, and take it out of the air. And so I attack it, I take it out of the air, and it was successful because her counter went up high to my forehand. And once again, I take that even though it's, farther on Catherine's side, and I put it away. And I think the one kind of reason that we do this is the forehand is a lot better than a backhand 99% of the time. So you want to let your guy take the high forehands. Now, when it comes to the ball being low and, overreaching, that's not cool. There's no reason to take that ball from your partner if it's low. We'll get into that. This is the point after. What you'll see here is Catherine drive, boom, and I move forward. Perfect example of teamwork. So she drives, and as she's driving, I'm going to move towards the middle and take the ball. So, this is, in essence, me taking her ball. But since she's back, I want to take that because I can, be a little bit more aggressive with it. And Tyra misses. So at this point, I've been very aggressive. I started off super aggressive, and the commentators even said, they were like, oh, we suggest they start going behind Christian. And here's the point that was almost right after that. Good serve. Dylan gets a high ball, and he puts it away behind me. This isn't the best example of it, but still, it's very hard to put a ball away in pickleball. As you know, it doesn't move super fast, so people on defense can just keep getting the balls back. But here, Dylan goes behind me. I'm not covering behind me because I'm so far in the middle. So it's a good spot for him to go to. If people go behind me over and over again, or like once or twice, then I'm like, all right, I got to cover that. So that's why it's very important when you play mixed doubles to go behind your guy. And that means speeding up behind them down the line. If you're the woman on the right, speed up down the line, or even just dinking down the line. That's a very important strategy. Here's another example where I'm applying pressure in the middle. Right there. So we saw a point like this, almost exactly like this recently. We've just got to the net, and I'm immediately already being aggressive. I see a ball that's high enough, that's about net height, that I can attack, and I don't hesitate. And now, look at my positioning. Since I'm aggressive, I'm standing right at the kitchen line, and Tyra's a step or two off the line, which gives me more time for her counter. So I speed up, she's farther back. So now when the ball comes to me, I have a little bit more time, and I can go down on the next one. Boom. I can go down on the next one. And since she's farther back, she can't cover as much. So being aggressive is a very, very smart strategy. So a few points have gone by, and here's another example of a point where I'm, taking over the middle. As you can see, as they're both back, I'm trying to keep them back, and that's what I want to do. But then Dylan hits this drop right in the corner, right here. And you see where I am. I'm so far over. Catherine does a great job of stepping around the side to take that as an Ernie, which is a great strategy for women. And the thing is, my presence distracted her. Because as you can see, I'm going to take it, and then she's there too. And because I was overreaching, I distracted her, and she missed. She misses this long. And that's my fault, because there needs to be communication between us, and it's not the end of the world. I mean, we didn't make that exact mistake, I don't think, again this match. So definitely a possibility of overreaching. I mean, you see how far over I am. That's kind of crazy if you think about it. But it's mixed doubles. I think this is a great point to talk about the right side and what role you play on the right versus the left. I've played the right with players that take 80% of the court, like in mixed doubles. Like I've been that right side guy, so I know exactly what it feels like to be in Catherine's shoes. And I think that helps me to play mixed doubles because I know what it feels like to be that person, and they're okay with it. Like I'm okay with it. I've talked to them, they're okay with it. We're okay with it. We just want to win. Like that's what it comes down to. Whatever it takes to win. If the guy's taking all the court and you're not winning, then you're like, hey, what's the problem? I don't like this. Don't do that. But if the person's taking all the court and taking over the court and it's working, I'm okay with that. I'm going to do my job. And if I'm on the right, my job is to make dinks, cross court down the line, just make dinks, counter well. So if they attack me, don't be a weakness or a liability. Because if you're in the right and you're getting attacked and you're losing, you're just a liability and you shouldn't be there. So your job is to make dinks, counter well. Those are the two things you need to do. And then thirdly, what makes the best right side players are having a solid speed up. It's so important. Like if you're in the right and you can create offense and you can win points for your team, that's the best right side player. So just to break that down again, make dinks. It's all you need to do. Colin Johnson's great at this. Counter. Like Dylan Frazier is really good at this, countering. And then speed ups. Dylan's also good at this, speeding up. So I love the right side because I understand that. I know exactly what to do. Like I just want to make this clear is I love playing the right. It's awesome. Like it's awesome. I'm gonna say it's borderline easy. It's very easy, and I feel like I'm better on the right sometimes because it's so easy. Because I'm like, okay, make a dink. Okay, make the dink. I can do that. Counter well. This is actually what I'm really good on the right at, is like finding the counter and countering it, and then speeding up. I love speeding up because I can take my forehand across the body. I can take my forehand across the body. I can take my forehand down the line. I can take it out of the air. I can even reach in the middle and take a ball if I want to. So I like the right side and I understand it. And I wouldn't be making this video. I wouldn't be commenting on what it's like to be the right side player, to be the woman in mixed doubles if I didn't know. I played matches where I took 30% of the balls and we made it to the semis. We came third. I was cool with it. Like it was one of my best results yet because the person was better than me. Yeah, so let's continue. So we already touched on this, but right here, I take the fourth. So Catherine hits a solid return, then Tyra pops up her third, and I take the fourth, and then I put away the fifth. Let's look at this again. So this is the most essential part about being a left side guy in mixed doubles. The fourth. That's where I honestly believe it's acceptable at almost all levels to take the fourth if you're a guy, because you're already at the net, you are already established, your partner's coming in, so they're not going to be able to reach and get the ball early like you can. So right there, I reach, I hit a solid ball, and the fifth is even higher, and I go middle. And I put it away. Boom. Let's watch the next point. The same thing happens here. You'll notice that the fourth I take isn't great. But what you can see is, I'm going to slow this down. Look at this ball right here. Catherine sees that it's a relatively high ball, and what does she do? She doesn't reach in for it. Since we're a team and we're playing together and we're supposed to have good communication, which we do, she backs up and she's sliding over immediately so that I can take that and so she can cover her line if I speed it up there. So I try and go across Dylan's body because I think he's going to be sitting on his body shot. And I was right because he was late to that forehand and I let it go. It goes way out. this is an important point. I want you guys to watch and see what our opponents are doing here, okay? First of all, they return to my backhand. So they don't want me taking middle, so what they do is they go behind me. Get the drop down. Like I said, Catherine and Tyra, the two girls, will dink cross, which is very, very usual. But then Catherine goes behind Dylan, which is a great strategy for the women. And what Dylan does, instead of trying to take that cross court, which is usually an easier dinking cross court, he tries to go back down the line at Catherine to, to give her most of the balls. And he misses. So that's the difference between what we did and what they did. Is what they were doing is they were going everything to Catherine. What we were doing is dinking and then going behind Dylan as well at the kitchen, which is super important. I say that, but then, they returned behind me, so it kind of balances out. So here's another point where I'm being aggressive, but the key is just balancing the aggression and balancing the balls you take. You don't want to take too much, but you don't want to take too little, so you want to be aggressive. I'm not going to take that. I take the middle one as I've been doing. I reach over, but it's high. This is a cool shot right here. The slow-mo makes it look cooler. You see that? Wait, I'll go back one more time. Right here. It was a tomahawk. Very cool. And then I put away the overhead. The key is not overreaching, all right? But you want to reach enough to be aggressive. And this is where the controversial issue comes, because it's how far do I reach? How far do I go over? If it's working, do it. If it's not working, don't. I want to be very clear. I don't do this in practice. When I practice with my mixed partners or any woman, I'm not taking 80% of the court. I'm not being overly aggressive. It's kind of crazy how much less I take, because they're not getting a ton of balls in this style. So it's not great practice for them. If in practice, I'm like taking 90% of the court, 80% of the court. It's not great practice. So in practice, I won't even take that much. And then, if we're losing and like we both are like, hey, let's start, like, let's bring it up a notch. Like, then, we might play a little bit more tournament style. 7-7, here we go. As you can see there, I kind of slid over, but I didn't take the ball. Mixed doubles, man. It's hard to put the ball away. That's what I've been trying to... I said this earlier. It's very hard to put the ball away in pickleball. And right here, this is what I want you to see. The reason they lost that point. The miscommunication on this shot. Tyra's going for it. Dylan's going for it. I showed you the same thing a few points ago with myself and Catherine, where I reached, and the second Catherine realized I was going for it, she slid and she backed away. Right there, they both kind of went for that ball. And then the finishing one, same exact thing. They both go for it. So here. Boom. They both swing at it. And since they both swing at it, nobody gets a clean swing and the shot gets missed. That was a big point for us, 7-7. Okay, here's something that I've been waiting to show you. And it's when, I'm going to tell you, it's when, right there. I didn't even need to say it. Okay, what happened here? In this whole first game, this is only the second time this happened. So, as always, I'm being aggressive on the fourths, and then I'm covering a lot of middle because I want to apply pressure. What Tyra does is she goes behind me while I'm at the net, and it causes me to not hit the best shot. Then what happens after that is Dylan comes over in the middle. So Tyra, now Dylan, look how far over he is. It's his job to, be aggressive with the high balls. And boom, they win the point. That was a huge point for them. It's really close to the first. And this is where the women play such an important role. is speeding up behind the man and dinking behind the man, because the guy is going to want to be big and be aggressive. It's your job to keep them honest, okay? And that's what she did right now. And after she started doing it more, and what I started doing is I started staying on my side. I was like, let me handle this. So it's all about balance. We ended up losing this game. It was a long fight. I was upset because the ball was going out and it hit the net right here. So I was upset for two reasons. One of their balls hit the net, and then this shot was going out. Catherine tried to let it go, and it still hit her, and that's frustrating. You can see a little bit of frustration, but it's the first frustration I showed all game. We did a great job, and we knew we had to come out hot for the next game. So the second and third games are very similar, but ultimately I think you guys have a balance of how much the guy should be taking over. Like, you want to be big, you want to apply pressure, especially at the pro level. I didn't say this, but Catherine, this is the round of 16. Catherine and I made it to the finals of this tournament. Like, this is the winning strategy. It's the winning strategy of the top however many teams. And, you know, I'm not going to do this if I go play rec. Even right when I started, I wasn't doing it, even though I knew the pros did it. Like, the first couple months I played, I wouldn't be that guy. But I knew the pros did it, and I was just like, it's not fun, that's not fair, that's kind of rude to do that. And then I played a tournament, one of my first tournaments, and I did that, like, cause like, it's the instinct to win takes over. But thanks so much for watching. If you subscribe to the video and my newsletter, you have a chance to win a paddle. It used to just be the YouTube, but I had trouble reaching out to people. So I need you guys to subscribe to the newsletter so I can pick a winner and I can email you directly. Thank you so much for watching. Goodbye.